نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على سيدنا ومولانا محمد رسوله النبي الأمين المكين الحنين الكريم الرؤوف الرحيم. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. صدق الله مولانا العظيم. Dear listeners and viewers, by the grace of Almighty Allah, we are here again to discuss the subject of Surah Al-Fatiha and belief of resurrection. That is the faith in occurrence of Day of Judgment. As we have already explained that Surah Al-Fatiha, being the opening chapter of Holy Quran, consisting of the abstract of all of the basic and fundamental teachings of Holy Quran, and consisting of the gist of all of the important and significant teachings of Islam, has given a very beautiful description of Islamic faith also. Up to this moment, as far as the basic tenets of Islamic faith are concerned, we have firstly discussed the belief of oneness, monotheism in the light of Surah Al-Fatiha. And then we have discussed the belief of prophethood in the light of Surah Al-Fatiha. And today we are going to discuss the concept of resurrection, the concept and faith of Day of Judgment in the light of Surah Al-Fatiha. Third verse of this surah is specified and specific on this subject. Almighty Allah says, Malik Yawmiddin, owner and master of the Day of Judgment, master of the Day of Resurrection. Malik means master, owner, and ruler. And Yawmuddin means Day of Judgment, Day of Resurrection, the day on which all of the mankind would be resurrected and would have to appear before Almighty Allah, and a final judgment regarding the life and regarding the acts and deeds and regarding the conducts and behaviors of the mankind would be given on that day. And from that day, after the final decision, the people, in accordance with their beliefs and faiths, and in accordance with their conducts and behaviors, they would further enter into paradise or hell, and that would be an endless and everlasting life. This day, the Day of Judgment, as per the statement of Holy Quran, would be of the duration of 50,000 years. And what would be the meaning of 50,000 years? This is again still to be elaborated. Now coming towards the ayah, this verse, Holy Quran says that Almighty Allah is the creator of all the worlds, and being the creator, He is the cherisher of all the creatures, and He is the sustainer of all the mankind. After creating the mankind, He, as the magnificent and merciful Lord, all requirements of human life, provided the mankind with all requirements, whether bodily or spiritually, whether temporal or intellectual, whether external or internal. And provision of all of the requirements of human life was declared to be the mercy of Almighty Allah. Now, how is it possible? The question comes that the one, Allah, who creates the man and provides the man with every kind of his need and necessity and requirement, and gives him whatsoever was demanded and required by the man. But how is it possible that after creating the man and after providing each and every requirement to the man, Allah does not give him the code of life, does not give him the basic guidance how to pass the life? He does not give him the basic charter of instructions how to regulate the affairs of life? How can this be possible? The answer is no. Because if Almighty Allah, after creation and after providing the man with the basic necessities of life so that he may survive, he may prosper, and he may pass his life in this world. So after providing all of these things, if Allah does not provide the man with a code of life, with a formula of life, so that he may know that this is the formula on which the man has to act, this is the code in the light of which the man has to regularize his life affairs, this is the charter of guidance in the light of which he has to conduct his behavior, he has to formulate his behavior. If such kind of charter of guidance is not provided to the man, if such kind of the basic guideline is not given to the human being, so ultimately the man cannot be made answerable to Allah. The man cannot become responsible. He cannot become responsible for his acts. He can neither be rewarded for good acts nor be awarded for bad acts. There will be no punishment. There will be no rewards. There would be no responsibility and answerability. So if there is no answerability, so what would be the purpose of his creation? If there is no responsibility, moral responsibility, then what is the objective of his creation? If the man is not going to be rewarded or awarded, so for what purpose he was created in this world? And if there is no purpose and there is no destiny of his creation, then what would be the level of moral perfection? So in the light of this thing, it was absolutely impossible that the man was not provided with any code of life. He was provided with the code of life so that he may examine. Almighty Allah provided him with the code of life, and that code of life was in the form of divine revelation. The divine revelations were communicated to various prophets in their lifetime. The divine guidance was conveyed to the prophets and messengers from time to time, and this was communicated to the mankind. And after having given the regular code of life to the man, and after having given the regular charter of instructions to the mankind through prophets and messengers, then Almighty Allah said that now you have a purposeful life. Now you have a life which is to be passed in the light of a specific charter, in a specific guideline, in a specific light of teachings. So now after the death, O mankind, you will again be resurrected. And you will have to appear before your Lord, who created you and who provided you with your requirements and who communicated to you through his prophets his charter of divine guidance. Now again, you would have to appear before him and you will be examined there. Your each act, deed and conduct would be examined. So your living and your death, everything would be tested. That's why Almighty Allah has said, Allazi khalaqal mawta wal hayat liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. Allah is one who created death and life so that he may examine who is the best of you as far as his conduct and deeds are concerned. So the purpose of creation of life and the purpose of creation of death has been clearly and tacitly approved, explicitly approved, declared that it is for an examination, it is for a test, and after death everybody would be examined and it would be declared that who is the best of the creatures, who is the best of the human beings. The man who passes his life positively in accordance with the charter of divine guidance would be declared to be the best of the mankind, better man, and he would be rewarded. And man who neglects and forgets and violates the charter of guidance and deviates from the divine guidance communicated by Almighty Allah would be declared to be the not successful and defeated. And he would be awarded by punishment. So Almighty Allah says the purpose of creation of life and death is that you may be examined after your death, and this examination would be conducted on the final day of judgment. Again, in Holy Quran, this idea has been emphatically expressed in the words, أَفَحَسِبْتُمْ أَنَّمَا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ عَبَثًا وَأَنَّكُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا تُرْجَعُونَ. Do you think that we have created you without any purpose? Do you consider that we have created you aimlessly, objectivelessly? And do you think again that you will not return towards us? So this Almighty Allah has explained emphatically the reality that the life of man is not aimless, which means that human life, according to Holy Quran and according to the teachings of Islam, did not come into existence just by a chance. So the life is not a creation of chance. Life is a purposive creation. Life was purposefully created by the Creator, by the Lord, and a specific purpose was given for the creation of life for the mankind. And not only simply the purpose was given to the life, but he would be asked after his death regarding that purpose, whether he was successful in fulfilling the purpose or not. At another place, it is explained further, أَيَحْسَبُ الْإِنسَانُ أَنْ يُتْرَكَ سُدًا أَلَمْ يَكُنْ نُطْفَةً مِّن مَّنِيٍّ يُمْنَى ثُمَّ كَانَ عَلَقَةً فَخَلَقَ فَسَوَّى فَجَعَلَ مِنْهُ الزَّوْجَيْنِ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى أَلَيْسَ ذَلِكَ بِقَادِرٍ عَلَىٰ أَنْ يُحْيِيَ الْمَوْتَى. It is stated, does man think that he would be left without any answerability, without any questioning? He would be left freely? No. The man has to concentrate on the point that was he not a drop of the germinal fluid? And then he was made a hanging mass in the uterus of his mother. And then from that hanging mass, a specific creation was brought out. And then a balance and proportionate balance was given to that creation. And from that, the male and female came into existence. And after mentioning various developmental stages of human embryo and human body in the womb of the mother, then Almighty Allah asks that the Lord who has created you and formulated you and upbrought you through all of these stages, is it not possible for that Lord to create you again, to bring you out of the death again, and to give you a life after your death? Is it not possible for him? The answer is yes. Why not? So, Holy Quran has again and again explained the three basic things. Number one, the man has been created and he has been given a purposeful life too. And number three, he would be asked for each and every act after his death, and he would be answerable for his life in this world. And moreover, another things have been very clarified through these Quranic verses. Number one, the one who is created cannot be worshipped. The entitlement of worship rests in the Creator. The man who is cherished and sustained does not deserve worship, and the sustainer and the cherisher is only who deserve the worship. And sustained cannot be worshipped. Only the sustainer would be worshipped. And the third thing, the one who is going to be answerable for his acts and deeds before anyone cannot be worshipped and does not deserve any worship. So the right of worship rests in one to whom everybody is going to be answerable. Now, coming towards the same verse, Maliki Yawmiddin. Here, Almighty Allah, through the Quranic words, has established the fact of the occurrence of the Day of Judgment, occurrence of the Day of Resurrection. We would like to explain the thing that Holy Quran has mentioned, that there are 5 stages through which the man has and has to pass. The man has passed and he has to pass. There are total 5 stages in number. Holy Quran says, it is very clear in Holy Quran, Kaifa, it is stated in Quran, Kaifa takfuruna billah wa kuntum amwatan fa ahyakum thumma yumitukum thumma yuhyikum thumma ilayhi turja'un. These are 5 stages mentioned in this verse, and this verse is of Surah Al-Baqarah. Stated, Kaifa takfuruna billah, O people, O mankind, how are you going to be disbelievers? And why can you disbelieve Allah? Why? Because وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا. Do you not think? Do you not try to understand your reality? Do you not try to understand your origin? Do you not try to understand your point of the beginning of the life? Quran says, وَكُنْتُمْ أَمْوَاتًا. You are nothing. Your journey of your life started from non-existence. You are nothing. You are dead, and dead means you are nothing. At that time, there was no existence given to you. فَأَحْيَاكُمْ. And then for the first time, He gave you the life. He made you alive. The life was given to you. And this was the first existence of your body in this world. ثُمَّ يُمِيتُكُمْ. Then third stage would be again, He will give you death. You will die. He will make you dead. And fourth, ثُمَّ يُحْيِيكُمْ. And He will again make you alive. He will again provide you the life after death. ثُمَّ إِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ. And fifth stage is, and then you would again appear before him. Then again you would be resurrected on the day of judgment. Here 5 stages have been clearly mentioned regarding the creation, life, evolution and end of human life. The first stage is the stage of non-existence. That is kuntum amwatan. This was the stage of non-existence. Holy Quran has again repeatedly explained the same thing in the words. Hal ata alal insani heenum min ad-dahr lam yakun shay'an madhkura. A time and a specific period has passed on the man when he was absolutely non-existing, when he was nothing to be remembered and nothing to be described and nothing to be mentioned. Absolutely he was non-existing. So this non-existence was the first condition when the man did not exist anywhere. Then, so this is the period before the start of the life on the earth. Then Holy Quran says, فَأَحْيَاكُمْ. Then came the second stage. And second stage was the stage of physical existence, when man came into existence in the world. Then says, summa yumitukum. Then again it is the physical death, the third stage. And summa yuhyikum. And this is again life after death. And then summa ilayhi turja'un. Then the fifth stage is the stage of resurrection. We are talking about the day of judgment. So Holy Quran has mentioned regarding the faith and belief of day of resurrection, that the final stage of the journey of human life would be ilayhi turja'un. This would be the day when the man would appear before his Creator, before his Lord. Now, to understand what would be the day of judgment and what is the basic elements of the belief of day of judgment, belief of day of resurrection. So the basic faith consists of 3 elements. Number 1, resurrection. This is the Yawmul Qiyamah, day of resurrection. That the man has to be resurrected. He would be resurrected and he would stand up and he would be appearing before Almighty Allah. This is the first element of faith regarding the day of judgment and regarding the resurrection. The second thing is the sense of being the same, or we can say it's self-consciousness. Consciousness of self-identity. Consciousness of self-realization. This would be the second thing. When the man would be resurrected, and he would appear before Lord, and he would be answerable there. So at that time, on the day of judgment, he would be possessing the sense of being the same fellow who conducted such and such act, who conducted this and that good or bad deeds. And now he is going to be answerable on those acts which he himself had been committed. So he would be possessing the sense of being the same. He would have a sense that I am the same fellow, not anybody else, who conducted this and this act. So this would be the second thing regarding the faith of belief of resurrection. And third thing is the answerability. His status of being answerable to Almighty Allah, and the rewards and awards on his acts and deeds. So these are the 3 elements which collectively constitute the belief of day of judgment. So the verse also consists of 3 words. Maliki Yawm ad-Din. There are 3 words in the verse. And there are 3 elements of the faith. Malik means that he is the owner, he is the master, to whom the man has to be answerable. Because the man can only be answerable to his Malik, to his owner, to his creator, to his Lord. So Malik, since he is the Malik, he is owner, he is master, he is the Lord, that's why the man would be answerable to him. First thing. In Malik lies the concept of answerability of the man before Lord. Second word is Yawm. By Yawm means Yawm, day of resurrection. The day consisting of 50,000 years in which all the mankind would be resurrected and the humanity would be appearing before Allah. And the third word is Ad-Deen. Ad-Deen means rewards and awards. But the third thing is that he would be given the same sense of his being. Through these three elements, the faith and belief regarding the day of judgment becomes complete. Now we would like to elaborate one by one. First of all, the question of resurrection. The Quran on resurrection. Holy Quran says in Surah Al-Mujadalah, يَوْمَ يَبْعَثُهُمُ اللَّهُ جَمِيعًا. That would be the day in which Almighty Allah would raise and would resurrect all of the men. And the second verse, it is stated in Holy Quran, Ya ayyuhan nas, in kuntum fi raybin min al-ba'th, fa inna khalaqnakum min turab. O mankind, if there is any doubt in your minds regarding the day of resurrection, that how the man would be resurrected, how the man would be recreated, and how the man would get another life on the day of judgment, if there is any doubt in your minds regarding this act, so think, فَإِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن تُرَابٍ. We have already created you from the dust. We have already created you. We have already given you life from an inorganic substance. So these are two verses on the concept of resurrection. Firstly, we are taking these concepts briefly. Then we will go in detail. Secondly, on the concept of the sense of sameness. He would be having the sense of being the same. Sense of the identity consciousness. Holy Quran says, ثُمَّ يُنَبِّئُهُمْ بِمَا عَمِلُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Then whatsoever acts and deeds they had been performing, the people had been performing in their worldly life, Almighty Allah would tell them, inform them, and they would realize each and everything, that they had been performing this and that act, and now today they are going to be answerable on the basis of their own acts which they have been performing in their life. So there would be the sense of being the same. And in Holy Quran it is stated further, هُنَالِكَ تَبْلُو كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا أَسْفَلَتْ. There on the day of judgment, every soul will recognize his acts. So the recognition which he had committed earlier, recognition of his acts on the day, would be based on the recognition of his self-identity. Will be based on the realization of the fact that he is the man, he is the person who conducted so and so, and now today he is going to be answerable on his acts. And third thing, and the last thing is, that is the awards and rewards. Holy Quran says briefly, وَإِنَّمَا تُوَفَّوْنَ أُجُورَكُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ in Surah Al-Imran, that you would be on the day of judgment, you would be paid completely and perfectly, without any less, losing anything. You would be paid completely and perfectly for each and every act which you had committed before in your life on the day of judgment. ثُمَّ تُوَفَّى كُلُّ نَفْسٍ مَا كَسَبَتْ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. Every soul would be paid completely, and no injustice would be done with any soul. So this is the concept of the complete awards and rewards. So we have discussed this idea up to this extent in a brief manner. In our next episode, we are inshallah, tomorrow we are taking it in detail. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغُ.